The following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com.
Hey, welcome to Teed Up with Phil and Cindy. It was a beautiful April day today, and I'm here with my beautiful co-host, Cindy.
Well, thank you.
And our
He
beautiful
was paid
guest,
to say
Erika
that.
Frase.
Yes, she certainly is.
And we welcome you to the show. And let me just say hello. And
Hi.
Hi,
we're
Erika.
going to give you a little introduction, Erika.
Yes.
Erika's a Buffalo-based storyteller with decades of film and theater experience. Her work while living in Atlanta and Hong Kong broadened her creative horizons, and her involvement with ALC Studios, which we all know very well,
Yes.
refined her
there.
skills. As founder of eye-catching events is one reason you're here today, Erika, to tell us about that. She crafts immersive murder mystery experiences that captivate audience across Western New York. And her latest project, the Paradox Payout, marks a new chapter in her storytelling journey, showcasing her talents as a writer, director, and producer. Erika, welcome to Teed Up with Phil and Cindy. We're
so
glad you're here.
welcome,
Thanks for
Erika.
having
Very
me.
talented. We're so fortunate to have you here. Erika, let's talk about the eye-catching events. I'm so interested in always how did you start? Like, how did it start? What is it about? You know, tell us a little bit about how it started and what it is.
Okay. I'm going to try to make this long story as short as possible. Fast forward to living in Hong Kong. I did a lot of interactive theater there. There's actually a huge need for native English speakers, surprisingly. So I did a lot of interactive theater, and one of them was murder mysteries.
Wow.
And I really enjoyed doing that. But when me and my ex-husband at the time decided to move away from Hong Kong, we decided to move to Buffalo. And I really wanted to start my company here.
Yeah.
Buffalo is a really great community for arts, whether it's filmmaking or theater.
Yeah.
And I thought it would go over very well here. So I moved back, and I think I spent 6 months building the brand and logo and kind of planning out the storyline. I started with 1920s, did like a family and friends night out, kind of like a trial base of it.
Yeah.
And I did an open call for auditions. So I did that over Zoom and in-person auditions just to bring people in.
Right.
Some people I brought in that I knew before I moved to Hong Kong. Some people were brand new, and they've been with me ever since, and they're incredible. But so I did the trial, and it went really well. So then I started pitching to different restaurants, and we did a lot of public shows the first year. And I wanted to really make it immersive for the audience.
Right.
So that's what's so different and unique about these shows is it's very engaging because there's a bit of a show, a murder happens, but it's very hands-on. So the audience become the detectives, and there's clue stations, hands-on puzzles you need to solve that reveal secrets about the suspects. And it becomes more of a game. You're competing against other people the whole night. So
this is while people are eating?
Depending. I can customize it since I've written the shows.
Yeah.
I kind of go to the venue or restaurant and ask them how they would like to do it. Some have just done hors d'oeuvres. Some of them have done a sit-down dinner. Or they'll do dinner and then continue with the rounds.
So it's themed, like now this one you did was if it's 1920?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a theme party, and then the actual audience becomes part of solving the crime.
Yes.
Like kind of like what you see on TV, like the murder, murder mysteries.
You've also been in Tony and Tina's wedding. You've done that.
Yes.
So it
I've
is.
never
so
been
much
to.
fun.
I've never been to
I
anything
actually
like
did a
that.
Tony and Tina's wedding.
Were
too.
you Tina?
No. I was Sal the photographer, which is a really fun part to do. But you said it, they're immersive and they're engaging.
Gosh,
so
that's so
the people are
fun.
looking for clues. And you not only do this with a dinner theater, but you do corporate events and things like that also.
Yes, the first year we did mostly
Private
public.
parties.
But then when we started developing connections, then I branched off more to corporate because there's a huge funding opportunity for team building for corporate companies.
They're always looking for team building.
Yeah. So we kind of set it up like on-site murder mysteries. So
Yeah.
we can travel and set up the clue stations anywhere, whether it's an office space or a public venue. So it makes it really accessible. Besides, instead of going to a show,
Right.
we bring it to them.
So how many actors you usually have in these, working in your cast?
So it depends on how many audience members we have, but usually we have about 5 suspects altogether, maybe 8 to 10 cast members and crew.
Kind of like Clue.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like you got to work to solve it. That's why I can see why corporate, like businesses, would want Erika to come in to do this, because you're sitting next to your buddy or your coworker.
Professor
Hopefully you like them, but you know what I mean? Like, then you can solve it together.
Right,
Like, this would be so fun for like anything, like any parties. Have you ever done like home parties?
Yes, in February we actually did a zombie invasion for a 30th birthday party at their house.
Fun would that be?
And that was awesome. We had strobe lights and fog machines and like actors in like full special effects zombie makeup.
On.
So it was pretty crazy. We had like 30 people and they just lined up in the living room on the floor. And then they're coming out of the kitchen and the bedrooms and freaking them out.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would be so fun, because like birthday parties can be boring. You know what I mean? Like, or events, like something, you know what I mean?
I've never had a boring birthday party.
Oh yeah. Well, I've never been invited, so I don't know.
I never really had a boring birthday party.
Yeah, we had like a clue station for the zombie invasion where it's a crime scene they walk into, and they have to open the body bag and find the bones, and the bones have a hidden riddle on them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is really like this.
It's very
This takes a lot of planning,
interactive.
though.
Yes, it does.
Now, do you change? Like that one was zombie. The other one you did was 1920s. How do you pick the themes? Like now, this flyer here, this is coming. So, Eye-Catching Events has one coming up Friday, May 2nd. It's called the Wild West Spring Fundraiser, and this is at Nickel City Brewery.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
In Depew, New York. But this is just a fundraiser.
Okay, but
So-
this event it'll be the same thing though, right? Like will the audience be involved or not so much?
This is more so it's celebrating our 2 years.
Oh,
We
okay,
hit 2
okay.
years, but it's also a way to network with other actors and filmmakers and community, and also to give back.
Oh yeah.
So fundraising, anything we earn will go right to Buffalo City Mission.
Oh,
And then we're
wow.
also doing a canned food drive. So every can you bring in, you'll get a raffle ticket. And we'll have a bunch of raffle baskets we're giving out and giving away. And then that will go to Feed More Western New York.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a good
That's
event. I went to
awesome.
that last year. Let's go
Yeah,
back
it
a
was
little
a lot of
bit.
fun.
Let's
Yeah.
go back
Okay.
into your early days. So, Erika, when you I first met you way back in 2018, I think, doing one of your Christmas party fundraisers.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But I mean, the question I have is, were you classically trained? Did you go to school for drama or theater or anything like that? Like, what got you into it? And I know when you left the United States, you did a lot of work in Hong Kong. So talk about
Yeah.
the early days of the Erika Frase experience.
That was a long time
Phrase of the
ago.
day.
Actually, honestly, this last 2 years has felt like 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people agree with that. Yeah, so I actually went to Buff State for theater. I majored in fine arts, and my focus was acting, directing, and also stage combat. So I got into some stunt work once I graduated, which was really cool locally. But then I also worked with a lot of the film department at Buff State, and that's where I kind of developed that passion for acting as well as filmmaking in
Yeah.
general. And the TFA program has always been amazing at Buff State. I always have loved working with them. Actually, Kyle Mecca was one of the main
Yeah.
people I worked with when I
Yeah.
was there at Buff State.
We hear
met-
so much about that program.
Yeah.
I've just
Yeah.
done 2 films this year with
Yeah.
them, and I've been doing them the last 4 years with TFA. Yeah.
Well, it's awesome.
Yeah. So go ahead, keep telling.
Oh.
Tell us about your start and how you got into everything?
So once I realized that I loved film, I mean, theater it has its own special place in my heart, and Hong Kong brought me back to a lot of theater. But film is it's just something that I've just always loved since I started working with the department. And then it became my mission to work on any set I possibly could, to learn as much as possible when I was building my reel and still being in college. So it was really nice because I graduated, and the theater department was great, but they didn't really prepare you if you wanted to pursue more acting and film. So because I was working with the film department, I was able to leave with a reel, which was great.
Yeah.
Because
it's hard to get a reel.
yeah.
Let me tell you. Yeah.
So
It's one of the hardest things to put together.
Yeah. And that's what's nice about student films too, because they have a deadline, they have to get it done,
Yeah.
and then they can send it to you right away. And a lot of the material that you get back is great from them.
Yeah.
But then I graduated. I saved up money for 6 months. I was just doing serving jobs and things like that. And then I moved down to Atlanta all by myself.
Wow.
I don't. It just.
Tell us
I
about
decided.
Atlanta. Is that like the hubbub for film and TV down there?
It was just starting to when I was down there, because I think I moved down in like 2015.
All by yourself. You didn't know a soul.
I did. I reached out to some Facebook pages, and I ended up building a connection and finding an apartment in that. Actually, it was a home. And I ended up living with like 3 50-year-olds.
God, that's like a horror film in the making, Erika. Oh, shit.
No, they were really nice.
Wow.
One of them is she's a pretty well-known horror director and writer now, but the other ones were actresses as well.
Wow.
And one of the actresses, she actually was packing up when I was coming in, and she's actually pretty famous now. Her name is Carlicia Grant. She's on Outer Banks. So so as I was leaving,
Wow.
or as she was leaving, I was coming in, and that was pretty much she started taking off from there. So it was pretty cool to see her journey. And for me, I was only there for a year, so it was pretty much a similar vision, just getting on set, learning as much as I could. Getting to do some cool things. I mean, I got to be on Alvin and the Chipmunks, just background, but
Oh, wow.
it was
Yeah.
still a cool opportunity.
Absolutely.
And I built connections with other filmmakers. I got to be a zombie on Walking Dead, so that was cool.
Nope,
That is so
that
cool.
is
Yeah,
very cool.
that you got to cross off your bucket
Yeah.
list.
That
because
is a
it's
cool
such a
thing. You're not
process
kidding.
getting into the makeup
Wow.
and stuff. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
What season were you on with the Dead?
Season 6.
Wow.
So I think I got lucky because I didn't have to go to zombie school, but it does exist. There is a zombie school.
So did you get killed off and
Oh,
things
so
like
you
that?
know a lot about zombies, so that's one of your eye-catching events. Okay, I get it now, because I'm like, wait, zombies, how'd she come up with that? Got it.
All right, did you
I
get
mean, who doesn't love zombies?
Yeah.
All right, before we go any further, did you get killed off by anybody? Did you get
So I actually was part of the
the
I
horde?
don't know if you're fans of Walking Dead, but I was part of the dumpster scene with Glenn, where like it kind
Oh
of,
yeah.
So we knew that he survived, and we had to keep quiet about it for like 6 months.
Wow.
Oh, no kidding.
I don't know if I could keep
Wow.
quiet.
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of The
Yeah,
Walking Dead.
so yeah.
But there was some diehard fans that were like living their best
Wow.
life as these zombies. So
Yeah,
So
no kidding.
what made you not want to stay there anymore, or did you miss Buffalo? You missed your home?
I was young,
Yeah.
and I ran out of money.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
also
That'll get you home pretty quick.
drama ensued with roommates, things like that. A lot of pressure
Yeah.
when you're pursuing just acting. And then at the time, I think it's much better now, but at the time, there was minimal roles for 20-year-old girls.
Right.
You know, like that kind of drove me to want to start writing my own stories, because it was really important to me that women were seen independently, had their own storyline, and like had some depth to their characters, because a lot of the roles were just, I mean, they were okay, but it's just like
Cheerleader.
I want
Short
cheerleader
skirts.
number 1, sexy girl number 2.
Yeah.
You know, like
I had problems
everyone
with-
did that in their
I have
20s,
problems with being
but-
stereotyped like
Yeah.
that also. So cheerleader number 1.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, more like number 3.
So now I know ALC, that's our acting studio where we go. They encourage a lot of writing, and you've written several things, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what you've written, or what has any of that come to film yet, or
Well, right before I left for Hong Kong, I actually wrote my first film under a different production company. I called it Color Me Human Productions.
gallery?
So we filmed it here. It was called Father. It was my first film, and I used a lot of my connections I just built, because when I moved back from Atlanta to Buffalo, I pursued more behind the camera.
Right.
So I was doing as many jobs as possible as a production assistant, production coordinator, and product manager. And that gained more experience with like pre-production work and building the stories as well. So with those experiences, I wanted to build on that more. So I wrote my own film and I filmed it.
Wow.
And then we left for Hong Kong.
Yeah.
So we took all the footage, and we did no dialogue. The film solely depended on being driven by music, because I know sound is like the biggest issue when you're first starting out doing a film.
Yeah.
If anything could go wrong, it's the sound.
Right.
So I was like, we're not doing dialogue. We're
Yeah.
just going to tell the story just solely through the music. And it actually turned out pretty good. I'm pretty
Wow.
happy
That's
how it turned
very
out.
interesting. It's an interesting concept.
It sure is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it became an international project because we brought all the footage to Hong Kong, and then we found an editor there,
Wow.
and then they finished it for us. Unfortunately, it was during COVID when we finally got it out. So it hit film festivals, but it was pretty much online. So
Right.
it didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
But it was okay. It was more so I wanted to just start storytelling.
And you did it.
And do my own
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
So that was your first one.
That was my first one, called Father. We actually turned Silo City into Syria for that, so that was really cool. But the one I just did recently is called the Paradox Payout, and it's kind of like heist movie meets sci-fi.
Now, is this a short?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a short.
Yeah.
But
And when you say short, you're talking how many minutes?
probably around like 12
12.
minutes or so.
So did you film this one already?
Yes,
you're in the
we
you
filmed
filmed
it
it. Okay.
all in January outside.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So shout out to all my amazing cast
Yeah.
and crew.
I saw a lot
because
of pictures from that.
It was cold and snowy.
Yeah.
There were blizzards. There were days we had to call it. So 3 days turned into 5.
Yeah.
We had an amazing team behind us, and I'm really happy because I'm actually one of the producers on Boris Zilberman's film right now, and I was able to bring a lot of that cast and crew on board this
Yeah.
one too.
So I know I've worked.
So talented.
Well, we both worked a little with Erika, but we just did a little film together.
Yes, you did.
A short for somebody that goes to Kent State. Anna, what's Anna's last name?
Shoot, I don't know.
I know I've got to look it up, but we
Should we
just
look it up?
I have it here somewhere, but we just did one.
Where
But
was the paper?
as we're doing it, Eric and I are talking, and she's telling me about all these camera shot terms and things like that. And I'm going. I looked at her. I go, man,
It's like the
you
Jill of
learn
all
something.
trades.
Well,
Yeah.
you learn something new every day. What
Yeah.
was the one thing you were telling me about how you fade in and out of the person?
Oh, the rack focus.
Yeah, she's telling me
Oh,
all this
good
stuff. I
rack
go,
focus.
she goes, I go, what's that, Erica? And she's telling me about it. I go,
Oh, or dirtying the frame.
right. And
I've just learned
So
all
you-
that being on set. So.
But
That's got to
it's-
make you a better actor, though, right? Because you
it
know
does,
where to look, you know what to do, you know
yeah.
how to. If the director's asking you to do something, you already know what it is.
And the acting has made me a better director too,
Yeah.
because like my 2 leads were Shelby Lynn Kelly, or sorry Shelby Lynn Kelly and Tabitha Rathel, and they were incredible.
Yeah.
They did such a good job.
they're both excellent, excellent actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were fantastic. And I knew I wanted to work with Shelby because this film I made actually is based off of an improv exercise we did at ALC.
Okay.
So it started off, we were both 2 women planning to rob a bank. I think that was the main thing. And then we kind of like improv'd a whole relationship out of it. And I really loved that build and chemistry we had
Yeah.
together. So I decided to make it more of a heist film, but add a little sci-fi to it. So like it's like a paradox. So she actually runs into her future self. Tabby runs into her future self as well. So
Are you Tabby's future self?
Now, are you?
No, so I mean,
because you were telling me, well, and I know Tabitha too, because we've done a few things together,
Yeah.
and she's really good. But I know we always were joking how you look very similar.
Everyone's been saying that, which is really funny. Because
I don't think you do, but you said it to me.
I was supposed to play Violet. Violet and Zoe are the characters, but I became very invested in doing this film, and I knew I couldn't give 100% playing the character.
Yeah.
And Tabitha did it justice and 100 times better than me. She did an incredible job, and so did Shelby.
Good.
Now, is this done filming?
It's done filming. We're currently in the post-production.
Okay.
I'm working with Alex right now on it. So Alex Frank, he's editing it right now. So we kind of sit down and work on it together, and it's looking really good.
Wow.
So
I'm
12
excited.
minutes, 12 minutes of film.
Yeah.
How many hours did you put in?
Well, still counting.
Because people don't realize. I mean, hours of actually filming, not the post-production, but actually out in the field filming. People don't realize you do 12 minutes, you're doing a lot of hours.
Well, there's pre-production. I was doing pre-production for like a month, and it was low budget, so I really was just doing everything. I was doing the producing, the locations, wardrobe, casting, crew, everything. So, which I'm used to doing with eye-catching events, and that you kind of just have to juggle everything. But yeah, pre-production was about a month long, so I was working every day, like hiring the cast, building the locations, having rehearsals, building wardrobe, things like that. And then we filmed for 5 days. So it was supposed to be a 3-day shoot, but because of the blizzards, it was getting
5 8-hour days.
Worse and worse.
5 8-hour days approximately. In there.
Anywhere between 8 and 12.
See,
we had some long days
for 12 minutes of actual film.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's pretty crazy. I mean, people don't realize.
Yeah.
You know, when you're doing it, how much goes into it, and what you're really doing behind the scenes, and it is a major undertaking.
Yes, and obviously with schedule conflicts, it was a little tricky to have the same crew. So we actually ended up having 3 DPs for the shoot. So like 3 different camera guys. So you may not be able to see it, but I can point it out which cameras are being used and things like that.
Because it's different.
Yeah.
They have different techniques or whatever, right?
Yes, but I'm being very patient with polishing it. I want to take my time. I think what a lot of filmmakers do around here in Buffalo is they take their first draft of their script and then they make it. And then they edit it and do like maybe a rough cut, and then they put it out to film festivals. And it's like there's so much potential there, but you really have to put the time in it and polish it. So that's what I'm currently doing right now.
And so you finished your shooting schedule when?
We finished, I feel like maybe mid-February.
And you're still working in post-production.
Yeah, our deadline is June 1st because we'd like to submit it to some local film festivals and get it out there. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a world I really loved seeing come to life with these characters, and there's so much potential. I mean, even bringing on, there's a flashback, and we brought on the Chaos Gang, and Scars is the leader of the gang. He's played by Johnny Foster, and then you have Sean Sanders and Eric Nicotero playing the other guys.
You got a good group of people.
Oh
there.
my God, I have an amazing group.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of ALC people.
And they improv the whole scene. It was so good because the flashback initially was just supposed to be no dialogue, kind of just more Shelby or her character Zoe's POV. But they improv such an amazing scene. I really wanted to use it, so we did. So it's just the little pieces are all coming together. We used we have like a fight scene in a prison, and we actually used a prison from the 1920s.
Wow.
So it was really cool. Just everything was through connections I made before I left for Hong Kong or connections I've made now. And I think that is the best thing about this Buffalo film community is like everyone reached out and helped where they could, and
Everybody's
I couldn't have
very
made it
helpful.
without that.
Well, that's one thing that I think we've all found out is everybody helps each other.
Yes.
You know, they really
Yeah.
are. They're very creative people, and everybody helps each other. And by the way, it's Ann Rozak.
Yeah.
Oh, Rosa. I was right. I did say Rosa.
Sorry, Anna.
Yeah.
Sorry, we couldn't remember. We just did Daisy.
And Shelby
it was
Lynn
a-
Kelly.
So
Yeah.
speaking of like having a good group of people to work with, your eye-catching events, you said that you have basically the same people working for you, which is huge. So you can count on them, and
Yes.
obviously they're all great actors. So when you go and you do a script, do you do a script for that? And is it okay? So you do a script for that. So how do people who are interested in having you come to like a corporate place or whatever, like do they reach out to you? Of course, you probably have your website, email, and we'll put those up.
Those will all be up. Yeah.
And do a lot of corporations around Buffalo, do they reach out to you for team building, things like that?
They do. I mean, by word of mouth, that's actually been, since it's a smaller business. I mean, I'm competing against murder mystery companies that have been around for 20 years.
Yeah.
So that definitely makes things a little trickier because the community doesn't know the name eye-catching events yet,
Right.
and they don't know what to expect coming to my shows.
Right.
But word of mouth has been great. My first year, I did a ton of marketing, a ton of like pop-ups where I would do raffles and give away tickets and collect emails and continue to send things out. But returning customers, and usually at least one person from each show I do usually books something from it. So I usually get a show or two.
Oh, wow. So someone
from
who was in
it.
the audience
Yes.
loved it so
Yeah.
much. Do you have set events, like a calendar, or how does that work?
I'm doing a lot of corporate right
Okay.
now. So our first year public shows, we probably did like 12 different venues.
So
or
not so
something
much
like that.
public too much anymore,
No.
unless a venue would request
More
you to
like
come.
private things like
Yeah.
that. Like last year we had we do a lot of Christmas office parties or
How fun would that
yeah,
be?
it's a lot
That
of
would
fun.
be so fun.
We set it up in like the office space and everything too.
Wow,
so.
what a great idea!
Yeah.
Because usually office parties are so boring. You know what I mean? There's always someone doing something with a copier machine, right? But like, how fun would that? I'm looking at Phil. But wait,
I know,
so
don't
like,
look at
how
me.
how fun would that be though? Like for
It would be fun.
an
It's-
office
it's a
party,
lot
like
of
something
fun.
so different, like not boring. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like, you know, other things, like other people
Yeah.
we've had on, like BB's Bingo. And
Yes.
they're different things than just sitting there and kind of drinking your night away.
Yeah,
you're
and not doing
involved.
anything.
And
I
that's what
mean-
you're doing. You're getting people involved. It's fun.
Yeah.
And your corporate things are team builder events.
We
So
usually have like a photo booth. We encourage guests to dress up. So 1920s is a really popular one. Everyone loves dressing up in the 1920s attire, and everyone looks incredible.
So
like
do
head
you
to
tell
toe.
do you tell the corporations like this is what we can do? I could do a Western, I could do, because obviously you had to write the scripts, right?
Yes.
So you have 5, 6 different things that you can offer a corporation like this to do, right?
Yeah, so usually I kind of like pitch. If it's not by word of mouth, I at my day job, I'll make a list of all the companies around Buffalo.
Yeah.
And on my breaks, I'll just call them one by one
Yeah.
and pitch to them.
Yeah.
And then usually from there, they're interested. They'll have me email them. So then I have a proposal. I send them over. And then from there, they usually want to book. Fall time is usually the busy time. Everyone
Yeah.
wants something for Halloween. But I've had a lot of returning customers this year. We
So,
have returning clients now.
like,
so.
tell us can you say some of the corporations you've been to, or
well,
you wanna
I-
keep it a
no,
little
maybe
quiet?
not. I don't know. They might not want
well,
to.
one of we have a returning customer, 20th Century Club. It's the oldest women's private club in
Yeah.
Buffalo, or
Yes.
in the nation, I
Yeah,
guess. Yeah,
I was in
So-
there for a movie.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's
yeah, I was an
beautiful
extra
in there.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we were in awe when we did a 1920s show there because it was just perfect. The aesthetic, it was Yeah.
Wow.
It was, we were in another world and everyone got dressed up and they had a great time. So they actually had us come back this year and do Wild West.
Wow.
And Wild West is a lot of fun too. We have some amazing characters. Boris plays Deputy Bo Blaze. We have Rachel Henderson playing Cassidy Cartwright.
How fun is that?
Yeah. So it's they're a lot of fun. I like to see how much people enjoy them.
Is it about an hour show, an hour and a half?
It could be anywhere between like an hour to 2 hours,
An hour to
depending
2
on
hours.
if there's dinner in between or something like that. I think 360 PSG Marketing was one of our.
Erika, I know you said you do corporate and stuff like that. What other parties do you do, or what other parties or events can you do maybe at people's homes, or if someone was to rent a space or something like that?
Yeah, we can customize for any party, actually. We did a bachelorette, which was a lot of fun. We did a Sweet 16.
Wow.
We've even done a kids mystery adventure zombie version as well.
Kids,
So, yes.
kids would absolutely love that for like a birthday party or something.
Oh, yeah,
like that.
they had a
So
blast.
a bachelorette, that would be so fun. And you've done a bachelorette, right?
Yeah, so
You
they rented an Airbnb and we set it up all in the Airbnb.
How fun is that?
Mhm.
And I imagine like a graduation party or something
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
birthday
Because a
parties.
graduation party, you want the kids to be involved in something other than drinking. So that would be great, right?
1920s is still the most popular one for sure, but Zombie Invasion is coming there now. Like,
So it's
people
really
are
any, I
enjoying
mean,
that.
any event that somebody has, whether at their home or like you said, running an Airbnb, you could come right to them.
Yes, we can set it up
Wow.
wherever they are, private home or different venues as well.
That's why anyone
So-
wouldn't want to do that. I know I'm a teacher, well, soon to be retired, and we sit through, I'm going to say this, the dumbest shit. The dumbest team building shit. Like I feel like, Rich,
Well, you
you
can
know what
say
I'm
that
talking
now,
about.
you're almost
I'm
done.
almost
It's
done,
the
so
end
I
of the
can
year.
say it. I can say it. Like for team building though, like, okay, we'll wait till after June to air this, Rich. But I mean, no, seriously, like schools, schools and teachers and the faculty would freaking love this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Is
I mean,
team building, like getting
yeah.
into the schools instead of doing the boring stuff. You know what I mean? I can't tell you how many times I was shopping on my phone. You know what I mean? Like not paying attention. Like it's just so. I just think this is. Stop laughing. I just
We're
think
going over this.
Well, we had a huge
We're going
team
over
building
the first
show.
aid stuff. Here's-
yeah,
I'm on my
Actually-
phone over here.
shopping. Rich knows what I'm talking about.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned that because I pitched it to. I work at UB. That's my full time day job,
Yes.
and I pitched it to my supervisors, and they actually booked me for a show last year.
Come on, that
So,
would be amazing.
It was for the whole custodial department. They had a sexual harassment seminar.
yeah.
And then right after that, they had us come in as a surprise.
How fun.
So it's like 130 people doing this team building murder
Yeah.
mystery. And they're used to me in like t-shirts and that.
Yeah.
And I'm in this like black gown,
Yeah.
1920s attire. And they had no idea what was going on. But
I'm sure they had a blast.
They did. It was something
how could you-
different.
it's so
We brought like
different.
hats and boas so they could get all dressed up. And
So you bring stuff
Yeah.
for the
Oh, yeah.
audience too?
Yeah.
So you supply everything.
we try to. I mean,
Yeah.
we encourage the guests. I mean, obviously they
Yeah,
didn't
to
know.
dress up, right?
Yeah, but I really like to immerse them into the world. Just having
Yeah.
2 hours in this world away from reality.
Yeah.
And people really seem to enjoy it. It's always cool to see in the beginning how they don't know what to expect.
Right.
Because it is different than a show. The murder happens and that, but then we go right into the game part of it.
Right.
Where like they have to find the clues or like hidden riddles
Yeah.
under their chair.
Yeah.
And then they're divided into groups where they interrogate the suspects, and then they're divided into clue stations where like they solve a puzzle for each thing. They
Yeah.
have to unlock a chest. It's a lot of fun. So
Wow, you put a lot of
Well,
thought into
I-
that.
I'm
yeah,
just-
I
I'm
do
just
like making the
looking-
puzzles.
Yeah, wow.
Laminate the clue cards and everything. It's a lot of
Oh my
work. So.
God.
I'm looking at your website here at eyecatchingevents.com, and it'll all be up on our
Yes,
screen. Of course, it will be.
eyecatchingevents.com.
And I'm just looking at some of the things that people have written.
Yeah.
True actors and extremely kind people. This was the perfect way to team build and have fun too.
See?
And there's some really nice things on there that people have written about.
This is just, to
It's
me, this is
great
the
to see the
best.
creative mastermind that is the founder of Eye-Catching Events in Action. Is that you, the mastermind?
I guess
She is the mastermind.
I just
Erica-
don't sleep
Erica, the
ever.
master. Her team is unmatched and showcases the very best of Buffalo. Keep up the great work. I am a total fan. Oh, that's from our friend Adam.
Yes, it is. He is.
So
he is
Adam,
a
who's
fan.
been on our
He's very
show, actually.
could you,
supportive, yes.
could you do like house parties, like go to someone's house and do? Oh, you did a birthday party
Yeah,
at
so
someone's
we,
house,
we
right?
did a 30th birthday zombie invasion.
But you
yes.
could go like Phil, when you have your next party, I feel like you should have the Wild West. Could you see Phil in a cowboy hat?
Yes, we did that actually. We in a Lockport private home. They had like this beautiful backyard, and we did like a backyard barbecue, murder in the Wild
Oh,
West.
come on. This is so fun.
It was fantastic.
To me,
Wow.
like being able
Yeah.
to do something and not just sit around, like sitting around is to me is so boring. But when you can actually engage and do something, and like I'm sure people remember this forever. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
it's just so different.
I would think it's
I
a
love
great.
it.
I got to
I
believe it's a
love
great
I
time.
love it. I think it's great.
In
Well, I know
August.
we've both. I know you've done Tony and Tina's wedding. I've done.
Yeah.
These are really fun events where the entire
See, I've never done any of
crowd
that.
has gotten into it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking some of your events. What's your largest event that you guys have done?
I would say some of the team building we've done is like about 130 to 150.
Wow.
Yeah. So we've talked to bigger clients as well. Potentially. I mean, that's what I'm working on right now. This is
Yeah.
kind of our slow time.
Yeah.
Things kind of pick up depending January, February, because Valentine's Day, people want to get out. And then it gets busy August to December usually.
There's nothing like
Yeah.
a
Because
Valentine's
Christmas,
murder.
I'm sure, like even a corporate
Lots of Christmas
parties,
corporate parties, yeah.
and stuff like that. Gosh, I feel like every corporation in Buffalo should be doing this as team building.
I
Phil.
agree.
You know,
Cindy.
I
Well-
just like seriously, like stop
catching
with the
events.
boring shit. Get some fun in there. You know what? Because if you treat your workers nice and do fun things for them, then in turn they're going to be better workers.
Well, you would think.
Right?
So, all right, May 1st. Or May 2nd. I'm sorry.
May
May
2nd.
2nd. Let's get the
Yes.
date right. May 2nd. Make sure we got that right, Rich. May 2nd
Is the
at
fundraiser.
the
Nickel City Brewery.
Nickel
Is it
City
brewery?
Brewery. Tell us.
I've never been
What's
there.
going on?
So before I left for Hong Kong, I was pretty busy in this film community. I was working with Paul McGinnis a lot, Adam Steiger, Greg Lamberson, and we had a whole community here. So we started a fundraising for the film community then. It was more for Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Yeah.
But we did it every Christmas. And it was a lot of fun. It was karaoke and dancing and food and raffles. But I wanted to bring it back now that we have this company and I've built this network again coming back to Buffalo. So it's a chance for people. It's a free public event at Nickel City Brews, and it's just to celebrate our 2 years of eye-catching events. And
It benefits who?
it benefits Buffalo City Mission.
And what do
So
people have to
everything-
bring?
Canned goods.
And
And
they
then
get,
there would be a basket raffle.
and
Yes,
they,
basket
and they get
raffle.
what for bringing cans?
For every canned good they bring in, they get one raffle ticket. So I think we raised about 381 pounds of canned goods last year, and $600 for Buffalo City Mission.
Yeah, and we know times are tough right now. So
Yeah.
going to an event like this, if you want to help out in your community, you can meet Erika. And here I see that Cowboy Pete is coming.
Yes.
Who is Cowboy
Karaoke
Pete?
Cowboy Pete.
I sang
Phil
that
does.
last year.
Are you Cowboy Pete?
No, but I sang the first and last song.
Phil
last year.
can
Phil-
really sing a Phil Collins song.
I know. I hear.
Yeah, he really can.
Every time he talks about
closed the
karaoke,
night.
he tells me how good he can sing Phil Collins.
I don't say how.
All
good
right,
I
yeah.
can. You guys say that.
He
I don't
totally
say
can
that.
brag about it because
I don't
he
say that.
definitely kills it for
So
sure.
this will be such a fun event for people to come if they want to help with Buffalo City Missions. They just have to bring a couple canned goods. Everybody loves a basket raffle, right? So, I mean, if you want to do something good and, of course, support and meet Erika and some of your other fellow actors
and
there.
bring cash.
And bring lots of
Yeah,
cash.
well, bring cash for the raffles if you
And
want
there's
to
a
buy
cash
raffle
bar.
tickets. There is a cash bar.
So you got to bring cash for the bar. Well,
You can use
credit
card
card,
too,
yeah.
but we also probably will be selling pizza too. So
Okay.
if you want a pizza, bring some cash.
It's a fun
Yeah.
event. It's a
It is
really
a lot of
fun
fun.
event. We had a really good
Yeah.
time.
And that's Friday, May 2nd from
May 2nd.
6 to 10 p.m. at Nichols City Brewery. I've never been there.
It's really a nice place. and
Yeah.
They got a lot of beers on tap that are, for the local,
Yeah.
places.
And at the same time,
and-
you're
and-
helping out the Buffalo in Western New York community.
and
Times
you
are
get to
hard
meet
right
the
now.
murder mystery
The
master.
queen, the
The
mastermind.
whole cast will
And
be
let me
there.
just say this: she does stunts. She does.
Oh,
she
my
is.
God, yeah.
She could be a stunt woman, and she takes Taekwondo. I just learned that today.
Yeah.
Right?
You don't mess with
I
Erica.
started back up.
Yeah.
again
So
a
nobody
couple
better
weeks
mess
ago.
with Erica because she'll take you down.
That is true.
Well, let me just say, Erica, thank you for coming
Thank you
on.
so much. It's
Thank
been
you,
a
guys.
It was
pleasure.
a lot of fun having you here, as we always have. It's our 8th show, Cindy.
A show.
Number
Wow.
8 in the
Number
number 8 in the
eight,
bag,
yeah.
man. We are moving along.
Moving along.
Everybody, I'd like to thank Erica and
Yes.
Cindy, my co-host.
Thank you,
we
Erica.
had a great time with you today.
Eye-catching events.
Eye-catching events.
Yep.
Don't forget
Check out
May
our website.
2nd.
We'll put it all up for you.
It'll all come up. It's good to see everyone. Tune in, subscribe.
Subscribe.
Tee it up with Phil and Cindy. We had another fun time.
Yes. Thank you so much, Erica.
Thank you,
It's
guys.
been a
This
joy.
was
very,
great.
very much. We'll see you, and we'll see you at the next show for number 9.
Another shoe.
Another shoe.
All right, Billy.
Thanks, everybody. We're out.
Gotta get out of here.